Oh, this is Dave Sullivan, Evad, Equalizer, all of above. But hey, give me back my pro wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
For those who don't know, now you know, baby. This is Hot Rod Biggs, Jared, Jimmy Street. We're going to take them to the limit one more time, baby, right here on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast, and I am here as always with my brother from the same father and mother, the Plastic Sheik, Jared Street. What's up, brother? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. And, you know, it wouldn't be a show if I didn't bring some charisma with me.
Oh, you mean the Territory Wrestling Guru, the co-host with the Mo-host, and our buddy Quinton Quarisma. What's up, Q? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Man, doing all right.
Yeah, doing good, man.
Yeah. So we got a big show today. I'm very excited to get to it. Obviously, our buddy Captain Corner Nick has hooked us up once again with the Equalizer, Dave Evad Sullivan. This one's kind of came out of left field. You know, we don't hear about him doing many podcasts. I'm sure he's done a few, but, you know, to cover some things to kind of pay the bills, I guess. Captain's Corner obviously is going to be September 20th at Canada Slam Fest, the Montreal Wrestling Convention, Hotel Ruby Foos, 7655 Descaries Boulevard. You've heard us talk about it a million times. We've had Henry Godwin, Paul Roma, and so many others, Bronwyn Billington, all kinds of great people that are going to be on that show. But now we are starting the Portland push for the Portland Wrestling Expo, and that's why we have Dave Sullivan on today. And that is Saturday, February 21st, Holiday Inn Portland Airport. Quinton, I know you're stoked about the Portland push, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad they're doing this because Portland, man, I've always liked Portland. One of my favorite promotions. They don't get a lot of love. I'm glad that the conventions scene is starting to get the Portland people involved because, man, they did so much good stuff there, and it's good to see those guys finally get some love.
Hey, man, I totally agree. And Dave is the first guest of hopefully many Portland stars. We'll be talking a whole lot about the Portland Wrestling Expo 2 coming up soon. I guarantee it. Can't wait to get Dave on. But before we do that, got a couple cool things to talk about. One of them is, Sheik, I know this one is firing you up. Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling is officially back in an official form on the WWE Vault on their YouTube channel. How cool is that, man?
About time, man. I was sad when they had it on the WWE network and then it went away and then everything, and it's never been back. I mean, I know you could have watched most of the episodes on YouTube or somewhere, but it's just cool that they're officially putting them out there for people to enjoy. You know, I love them. I watched one or two of them the other day, the first two. So it's awesome.
Yeah. I smell a watch along of some sort coming hopefully soon. Can we do a Saturday morning show maybe?
Oh man, if you know how sweet that would be. Yeah. Come on, guys. Tune in on Saturday mornings and listen to us watch. Well, you can watch along with us, but
yeah, of course. They can join in. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, man, did you watch that cartoon, Q? I know you were a little older than us, but were you still into the cartoon as much as we were?
I really didn't watch it much, you know, because most times, like, I'd watch, you know, the Memphis wrestling, and as soon as it was over, boom, I was out of the house. You know,
yeah, okay.
Doing something. I was all, you know, never stayed inside, especially in the summertime.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I watched a few episodes here and there, but I never watched it like every week. The only thing I ever watched every week on Saturdays was the wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that was the important part, So, well, we're excited that it's back. It sparks a certain nostalgic feel in us. So, definitely appreciate that. One thing before we get to our guest, one thing I definitely got to bring up is right now we are running a special. September 30th is a cutoff date, but if you buy a t-shirt on our official Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling Tees podcast page right now, all of the proceeds, that's 100% of the proceeds that we make from this sale of the t-shirts, goes to our buddies at the Right Way Reunion. They do a great thing. They have a little get together. I think they're up to 2 a year now. And even though Sheik and I aren't always able to be there, we want them to know how much we support them. And we are doing this in a way to help them financially support future reunions. So they do a great thing. I know Shane and the team are always doing something to help somebody. So we want to help them back. And the best way you can do that is if you want to go ahead and buy a Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling t-shirt, and we're going to give that money right to them. So help us out. It's available right now. The links are all over the place. It's hard not to find them. So guys, if y'all don't have anything else, I think I'm ready to talk to old Evad. What about y'all?
Let's get it going, man.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back with Dave Sullivan on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Hey, my name is Tammy Reynolds. I am the wife of Forsaken Rick Reynolds, that super cool guy that everybody knows and loves. And I represent West Side Sauces. I make sauces, I bottle them, I seal them, I sell them. I have a hot honey sauce, I have a sweet sauce, I have a hot sauce, I have a white sauce that's so yummy you can use it on everything. They are absolutely amazing and I'm so proud of them. We make them from scratch. So go on our website, westsidesauces.com, check out our products, read about our story, and go online and order you some of these yummy sauces. And Rick actually uses all of the sauces because he is a die-hard smoker and griller, and so he likes really good sauces and rubs, and I make them, so how convenient is that for him? Go on our website, westsidesauces.com, order you some samples, and I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them. Thank you guys. Be blessed.
All right, we are back with more from the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. And Sheik and Quinton, just like I said in the opening, we have an incredible guest. Today we have the one and only Equalizer, Evad, Dave Sullivan, whatever you want to call him. Sir, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh, man.
I appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure and an honor. We understand our buddy Nick here with Captain's Corner. You're going to be at the Portland Wrestling Expo 2 on Saturday, February 21st, and that is at the Holiday Inn Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. How long has it been since you've been up in Portland?
Oh, God. Shit. Dang it. Probably about 93 or something like that before they, what year did they close? I'm trying to remember.
92.
Yeah.
Remember?
92.
Yeah. So
when Don Owens shut down.
Yeah, he shut down in 92. Then Sandy Bar opened back up a little after that. But Don
I
Owens
think that's my on shut. Should have been 92 because I've been to Portland. Yeah, 92.
Well, it'll be good to have you back. Yeah, I'm sure. Are you planning on taking anything up there? Are you going to paint the face or anything fun like that?
I could, but I didn't. I could if you'd like me to. I have to look getting some face paint and bringing it with me.
Yeah, you might need to, man. I've been seeing some great photos of you in that gimmick, but we'll get to that in a minute. To start things off with every episode, we always kick it to my brother, the Plastic Sheik, to take the first question. Sheik, take it away.
Okay, so if you had to have a list, like a Mount Rushmore of people you worked with, people you were inspired by, liked their work, whatever, a Mount Rushmore, 4 or 5 names, like a Mount Rushmore, who would that be?
Well, I'm going to probably say Steve Austin.
Good stuff.
Ric Flair. Don't tell Grappler, but he's one of my favorites too. But I don't know if you put him on Mount Rushmore. Oh, you got to throw Hogan up there probably,
Of course.
and then
Yeah.
and then probably Ravishing Rick Rude.
Oh man, that's a great pull. You don't hear that. I mean, Rick Rude was a great heel, great. Just had that arrogance look about him, but looked like a guy that could handle himself too. So that's a good pick.
He was. A lot of people took him the wrong way, but he was a good guy. He really was.
Yeah,
I traveled a lot with him, so enjoyed him. He could just be Rick Rude sometimes.
Let it be said that Lynn Denton belongs on any Mount Rushmore that's on our show. So
I know. I think the world of Lenny Denton. He helped my career tremendously and been a good friend since the 80s.
So first question I got is, who was your trainer, and how did you find that person or persons, and where was it at, and what year was that happened?
Oh, it'd have been back in 85, 86 with Bob Geigel, and then I went up to in 89. I went up to Portland with Lenny, and Lenny kind of helped finish it off because him and Bob Geigel were good friends, and so was Harley Racing. So I was down because I was in Topeka, so I'd go over to Kansas City and train with those guys. With when Harley was around, or most of the time it was Bob Geigel and some of the crew there from the old Central States, and then when I went to Portland, Grappler helped finish it off.
Oh, okay, well, that's cool. I didn't know you about the Central States part. Wow,
that's very cool. That's very cool. Well, who was your first match against, and what year was that? Do you remember?
I'm old as shit, It was, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but it was in somewhere near St. Louis, and it was like an 88 or something like that, 87 or 88.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So in early '90, you went to Portland, and they pushed you immediately as soon as you got there. How did it feel to go up there and work in that world famous Portland Sports Arena and work for Don Owen?
I tell you what, it's still one of the most favorite things in my life. I mean, it really is. I mean, being up there, it was kind of a family atmosphere and all that good stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was just, Don was good about taking you in and working with you and giving you great opportunities. And Grappler was a great leader. Plus, you met Rowdy Piper first time. He was up there helping us with the territory at that time when I first started, helping Don out because that's where he got his start. And I mean, it was a great learning lesson. It was not bad traveling. I mean, we hit the Oregon area and a little bit of Washington, and so it was, and once in a while Idaho. But so it was easy traveling. Usually could get back home most of the nights. You wouldn't have to be gone overnight all the time. So it was kind of nice. It was a fun territory really to be part of. It really was, because it wasn't spread out like the Texas territories or other territories where when you traveled you're staying overnight all the time.
Yeah. They've always heard that. A lot of people, that's why they would go to Portland and they would never leave because they loved it. The territory, everything about it. Guys would go up and fall in love and stay. Yeah,
it was a good territory. It was fun. Don took care of you, and it was not a bad place to live. It was nice up there. You had those. The winter you didn't get snow, but once in a while, but it'd be cloudy all the time. That'd be the tough part to get used to. But man, the springs and fall and summers were awesome there.
Yeah.
As far as the weather, it was. I can't complain. One far from the ocean, so I mean, a lot of good Columbia River at that time. So it was a lot of good things. You really enjoyed it.
So whose idea was it to put you with the Grappler and call y'all's team the Wrecking Crew?
All that came from. I don't know if he talked with Rowdy. You'd have to ask him to come up with it, but it was kind of his brainchild, and of course Brian Adams was part of it too, and he put us three together as the Wrecking Crew. So it kind of went. Grappler brought me in. I started working with Rex King. Then eventually he brought me into the Wrecking Crew with Brian and him, and so from then on it was kind of. We moved that way with it, and it was a blast. I mean, I enjoyed going down the road with Brian Adams, God rest his soul, and Grapp and all those guys. We had a good time. We really did.
All right, so on November 3rd, 1990, y'all beat Larry and Rip Oliver for the Pacific Northwest Tag Titles. You got any memories of that match and of Larry and Rip Oliver?
Well, I tell you what, Larry and Rip were great people, and I loved working with them all the time. Rip was like Grappler, great had great instincts of the game. Great guy to listen to and learn from, because he'd been around and knew the business inside and out. Larry worked his butt off in the ring because, Rip was there, and we had some good matches with him all around that territory. And they were, they kind of, we didn't, because back then we still kayfabed, this is before Vince schooled and him and Hulk schooled everybody on the business. So we never really rode much with the baby faces unless we got stuck, and then we'd throw them out before we got to the arena.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, back then we were kayfabe, so it was pretty much the heels rode together and the faces rode together. So I never really rode down the road with Rip and Larry, but they were great to work with, great guys. Rip and I are still, Larry and I are still friends on Facebook, and we chat every once in a while. So they're good people, and Rip would always give me good ideas with my gimmick, which I really appreciated in my career because I was young at it and trying to learn the business too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Who gave you the name the Equalizer?
Lenny.
Okay.
then Kevin told him to give me the name Dave and Evad.
Yeah, yeah. Some good
those
names.
are the brainchilds of those two guys.
Yeah. So, what do you got on good stories about the Juicer Art Bar?
Well, God, I feel bad for him. The Juicer was something else. He was crazy. He was fun to work with because you never knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
But as a personality, Art was great. My heart broke when he passed in Mexico down there.
Yeah.
And in fact, because I like Sandy. Sandy was tremendous too. He'd give you good ideas. So you felt, a matter of fact, the fur that I had when they made me the Equalizer, I got down there at Sandy Barr's place. Down there at his shop. And what do you read, that damn thing he ran? For years.
Flea market.
There you go. Flea market. So I had that. It was actually elk fur that somebody shot up there in the mountains there in Oregon. So they were just, it was great. It was a blast there. Then Art was a good guy. You just felt for the whole family when he passed because he was a fun guy, and Juicer was a juicer, man. He was that name was perfect for him. That was Robbie. That was Rowdy's idea, and it got over, and it was perfect for Art. It was a perfect gimmick for him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, so on March 21st of 91, you worked in Japan on the New Japan WCW Starrcade show at the Tokyo Dome. You actually worked
Correct.
Scott Norton. So how did you get that?
I worked with him. I worked with him a lot there in Portland too.
Right, right.
We
of
went
course.
Down.
Yeah.
It was easy with him just because we'd worked so much in the Portland area because he lived up there, and we'd worked out together and lift and everything, so we became really good friends.
Yeah.
And so that match was easy. It was stiff, but it was fun and easy.
And how did you get that booking? And then how was it working in that huge building so early in your career?
It was a shock because the only thing I'd ever done anything was football.
Right.
And to be out there like that with all those people, and you don't have a helmet and shoulder pads on was really interesting. Especially they brought in all the WCW guys, Flair and all them guys for that whole thing. And then I got to go out with Chet Singh too, and work some stuff with him out there in his match. So yeah, it was great. I mean, that was a heck of an opportunity in my young career. It really was. And it was fun working with somebody that knew that I could work with, because I worked with him a lot, with Scott.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So obviously when you come back from Japan, you start working in a storyline against the Grappler. And so right. I guess tell us some good stories about Lenny. And then did they turn you babyface at that point, or? Yeah,
I think that was his decision to start turning me. He jumped me somewhere and he turned me babyface. Oh God, there's so many stories with Lenny, and I don't know if you could. I know some of them are not all PG guys.
PG-13 is okay.
One of the best ones we did. We were coming back from Eugene, and Oregon gets that black ice you can't see on the road, and they don't salt it or anything. And we were coming back. We had Tokyo Joe, myself, Brian, and I can't remember one other heel in the car with us. And we're dry, and I was driving, and we hit a patch of that ice, and we were spinning. Of course, to see when we traveled, we'd get a bunch of beer and we'd put it in a cooler. And so Tokyo Joe was riding with us. He wasn't buckled in. He was sitting on the cooler passing out beers. Mm-hmm. and I'm looking in the rearview mirror. Everybody's going, oh, shit, we're spinning, right? Thank God we didn't hit anybody. We went down the ditch, and we had all of us there so we could push it out. But You look in the mirror and you see little Tokyo Joe floating like that, just floating like we're in air, like we're in air, like he's in air, his little feet up there. And we hit that damn, we stopped, and all of a sudden you hear Tokyo Joe. Thank God, good high spot, but no finish. we all popped on that one, man. We were grappling everywhere we stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, we traveled a lot. We did a lot of things together, good and bad.
Yeah.
Some of the things we could have got. Well, another one was we were coming back from, can't remember the country bar we always went to together. And we're driving. I said, Lenny, you probably need to slow down. So we're coming back too fast, right? Sure enough, they were sitting down at the bottom of the hill waiting for a bunch of people. And they were just pulling us all over to see if we'd been drinking, right? Because they knew that bar was out there. And Grappler gets out because he's driving, and of course he can't pass shit. But we're both messed up.
Right.
So they said, Equalizer, come here, see if you can, because they recognize us from, Portland TV. And so they get up there, and I pass it with flying colors. I don't know. Maybe I'm better drunk than I am sober, because I can't pass it as sober. And I pass it, and they go, Equalizer, we have one question. Why in the fuck aren't you driving? I didn't say a word. I'm sorry, sir. I probably should have. I played it good. I should have took the keys and not let me have them. And we get in the car. He goes, how in the did you do that? How? I said, I probably couldn't have done it sober, Lenny. I couldn't have done it sober. He just died laughing.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, that is frightening for most people too,
I was on a shit. We're both going to get hauled in.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He has to get out of it and grapple. Okay, Equalizer, you're up. And they looked at me. The cops were serious as shit. Why in the hell weren't you driving? Well, I'm sorry, sir. I probably took the keys. You're right. I'll be sure we drive us. He said, you too. You get Lenny home and you get home. And I said, yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh man.
Today, if you did that, shit, we both would have been hauled in.
Yeah, under the jail. Yeah.
All right. So May of '91, you go to work for Otto Vance's CWA in Europe, and you're the barbarian there. First of all, how did that booking come about, and why did they do the name change like that and everything?
Well, that's kind of was Otto's. First of all, Vader helped me get the booking because he called Lenny and he saw me on tapes and he said, I would like to book Equalizer here for Otto for 6 months, and or whatever the tour was. And he asked me, I said, sure, shit, I'd like to go. And that's where I met Finley and Dave Taylor and all them guys, and had a blast over there. Larry Cameron was there and all that guy and all those guys. So, and Buffalo, Daryl, I can't remember Daryl's last name, but he was there from
Peterson.
Also Wrestling the Duck. Yeah, Daryl Peterson was there too. And then, and so we all get over there. And so he got me the booking. And so we went over there, and it was, I had a blast. I mean, you look at, I know I wrestled at WCW and I wrestled Japan and wrestled Puerto Rico and all those different places. But the two most enjoyable places I worked in my life, it didn't make a killing money wise, but it was Portland with Don Owens and over there with Otto Vance. They treated you great. You're part of the team. You had a blast. The guys were great. We partied our asses off and we had a fun time. We had a great time. And it was just, that's wrestling. And, today you look at it today, you don't get enjoying that kind of shit. These guys travel all over and it's only, now you have all these independent shows. Cause like these let's give me my wrestling back. You're right. And when you watch TV, I mean, you guys watch it. If you watch Raw, they don't do a match 45 minutes in. What the hell is that?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, seriously.
When you watch it, their big events now, they're really good. The pay-per-views and all that. They're putting them on Netflix and all that stuff now. But those their big things are very good shows. But I mean, you watch a Raw or one of them TNT. What's the one they got now that they're starting with?
AEW. And NXT. Yep, that's WWE.
He doesn't do. Young guys are not doing any promos. They're out there wrestling. That's what I miss. I can't sit there and listen to a guy do a promo for 40 minutes. I'm sorry. It's just like,
Me
what
either.
the hell?
Yeah, it's called wrestling. It's not called promo. It's not called WWE talk. Yeah.
And that's when you look at the business. I mean, I know there's guys making a lot of money, but there's a lot of guys just hanging on barely too. So I mean, it's not inventory and guys can work and do all that stuff. It's not there anymore. It's either you're a big star making a ton of money or starving. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that. You talk to everybody.
Oh yeah.
So while you were there, you mentioned a little bit there. You worked Tony St. Clair, Dave Taylor, Fit Finley. Like, is there any specific memory when I throw out those names? Any specific match or anything you can think about from one of those guys or any of those guys?
Well, Tony and I had a lot of good matches. We worked a main event there in France, and so we worked a lot. And I worked a lot with Dave Taylor too. Those two are the two of the top baby faces.
Yeah.
So I always work with them guys. Finley was a heel like me, so we did some tagging together. Finley has a great mind for the business because he grew up in the business because his dad was in the business in Ireland. And so he helped. He's another one that really taught me a lot too about character, what to do in the ring that matches your character, kind of like what Lenny did and Sandy Barr would do. But Finney really kind of helped you a lot, top it off, because he understood that. He understood the business real well and how to get the faces over and do it right so it doesn't hurt your character and all that. So, and we just, honestly and truly, if them little over there can drink a lot of beer, I can tell you. For no bigger you are feeling, where in the hell's that third leg at?
Oh man.
But no, great workers. Yeah. There was kind of, because we traveled with the town, we stayed in that town. So you go to bars, the locals were really, friendly, and it was a lot of fun. We go out there at the bars at night and make it back to where we're staying about 4 or 5 in the morning. Because out there, there's no curve. I mean, there's none of that shit. The girls in the bars were 16.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now there's no limit.
Yeah.
You got 15. You got a card. The girls will be sure. Yeah, but they go, you're not in America anymore. I go, yeah, but I don't feel comfortable being with a 16-year-old girl.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but those Germany and France and those countries over there, they can party now. Nobody shit you. I don't know. But back then they would. Yeah, we had a good time.
So me and Jimmy had an uncle. He was probably our favorite uncle. He's passed on now, but he was in the Army and he was stationed in Germany, and he talked about walking down into like bars, and he said he would have to crawl out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he said that was our guy, and it always sticks with me when somebody talks about how the bars and stuff are there. That he said you walk down into them, and he said you would have to crawl out because you'd be so.
Oh yeah. There's no question you could hardly stand. You go out there, you about fall over and shit. Yeah, it was funny. We laugh all the way back to where we were staying at. Thank God we didn't have to drive. We could just walk. Thank God, or take a tram or whatever. Because they have good systems over there as far as getting you around. You know what I'm saying? Better than we do here. Maybe it's more like in New York where they have all the subway, like that type of thing. So you can get to places where you don't have to be out driving. Because I wouldn't want to be driving a foreign country up and then who knows. Ever get out? I don't know.
Right. Right.
Otto had to come get me out.
Come on.
So September '92, you end up in Puerto Rico for Carlos Colon, WWC down there. What'd you say? Go ahead. Repeat that.
My room with Dick Murdoch was my roommate.
Oh man. Nice. Yeah. So you worked Carlos a lot while you were down there. Any like memories of working Carlos or?
Oh, he was tough. He was a tough guy. I mean, he was quite a bit older. He'd been in the business for a long time, but just another great mind for the business. And of course, Dick does too. Dick Murdoch can make everything look great, and you almost sit in the back. If you were one of the boys, you sit in the back and you laugh because it looks so damn good. And it looks real.
Yeah. He was good.
He's a great worker, and he told me a story about because him and Dusty lived in Omaha. Mm-hmm. And they had a jackass that lived with them, a little jackass. And when the wintertime, they'd let it come inside because it got too cold. And they'd shit all over the house. I said, "It's a donkey. What do you expect it to do?"
Yeah, exactly.
It really stunk down there. It's down there in South Omaha. It was really stunk down there. Well, then they took the damn thing up to Minneapolis in the AWA with Vern. And of course, they get fired there because he didn't want no jackass up there. And he got in trouble. That's how they ended up back. Dick ended up back in Texas, and then I think Dusty hits how he ended up in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The jackass, because it got so cold here, which it does in Omaha and Minneapolis, they'd let it live inside with them.
Golly.
But no, Dick's a character. I mean, gosh, he was funny. And that guy, he challenged on, that beer contest in San Francisco where Andre drank like 116 beers.
Yeah.
Dick's the one that challenged him, and Dick finished like fourth.
Oh man,
it was like, but but he drank. They went and did a show that night in San Francisco, and Andre drank 100. Of course, Dick drank over 40 beers. That's still a lot,
right?
But yeah, Andre drank 116 before they went and did the show that night.
Man, oh wow.
But being with Dick, you heard a lot. I mean, a lot of good stories about all the, because he worked all the different territories and. Worked in the big place. He worked WWE, but when he worked, it was the WWF. I'm sorry, and then of course with NWA with Crockett and all those guys. So, he had stories, and damn, every time after we wrestle, we'd always start and had some bitch. Come on, man, hang with me. Come on, because there, I think I was Equalizer too.
Right. Okay.
And he'd go, "Come on, Equalizer, drink some beer, you son of a bitch." And condo, and we just be shit. Just time, but we get up next morning, and he wouldn't go work out, but I'd go work out, and then we head to the show again. Puerto Rico was fun just because we lived right on the beach.
Oh man, we had
a nice car with took care of us and got us a nice setup.
Yeah.
All right. So February of '93, you show up back in Japan again. This time is you're working for Kendo Nagasaki's NOW promotion. How'd you get those bookings?
James Byrd called me when I was in Puerto Rico and wanted to know if I wanted to come up there and do those shows with them, because it was Rod Price, myself, JBL, Bradshaw. But he helped at that time. Byrd helped Nagasaki book the Americans over there.
Oh,
so that's how that got up there, and then. And that was we toured a lot because we wrestled right in an island off of China, and so I mean, got a tour in a big boat, and we had a blast. I mean, it was it was fun. And that was stiff. Japan stiff. I mean, compared to there's some stiff people in the U.S., but Japan you work stiff. That's why you can only do it for 14, 16 days, then you got to go home.
I see where you worked there, and then you went back in May for another tour. So how was it working for Kendo Nagasaki?
Oh, it was stiff, but it was good. He was fair. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed James Byrd. Yeah, they took good care. He put you up nice, paid you well, took you out to eat to all these different places. So yeah. And I worked with Kendo, worked with a couple other people from Japan, the champion, and I worked Rod a couple times, worked Bradshaw. So, it's different because over there's no real heel, or there is a little bit, but it's not like in America, you know what I'm saying? Or Great Britain or Germany, or I should say Europe and here. I mean, it's a match. It's kind of like a more of a for real match. You get heat, but it's not like the same type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But you work tighter, you work stiffer, and you go. That's why when you're on tour. You're glad when you get paid well, but you're glad when you're home because then you can rest up a little bit. That's why I think they bring Americans like that, because it is stiff when you work there.
Yeah. Okay.
What is that alcohol they make? Kawasaki. What's it called?
Sake.
Sake. That's why you drink a lot of sake over there, to kill a freaking pain.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Come heat up your summer over at Captain's Corner, the purveyor of all things wrestling. We'll be working with stars like Wheeler Yuta, King Haku, Coco Beware, and many more in the months of July and August. Also, make sure to mark down September 20th on the calendar as we present Slam Fest 2025. Montreal's first ever pro wrestling convention will be presented by Captain's Corner and our friends at LWA. Featuring The Godfather, Barry Windham, The Godwins, Doink and Dink the Clown, and a dozen additional stars, It all happens at Ruby Foods on the 20th of September. Make sure to check us out on both Facebook and Instagram at Captain's Corner. Cheers to the working man.
All right, so June 93, you worked a few shows in Dallas, Texas for Global. You worked as Captain Ron. How did you get those bookings, and who come up with that name?
James Byrd. It was his idea. And then we went down to Mexico, did some stuff down there too. So yeah, that was James' idea, and he got me. Well, the booker was, gosh dang it, you remember the names better than I do. He kind of one of the sheiks. What was Skandar? What was his name?
Akbar.
Skandar. Akbar. Yeah, he was he ran the territory, and then Byrd was kind of his part-time help booker, and then Byrd refereed, so he booked me down there, and then I worked down there with them, and yeah. Went to Mexico with Bradshaw, and yeah, I honestly those type of shows were fun. I tell you what, you get those people fired up, they want to kill you. That's South Africa.
Oh man, that's awesome. So in July '93, you started working for WCW, obviously. So what are the early days like when you first get to WCW?
Well, it's kind of you're kind of in shock first because you're with all this talent you watch on TV all the time, and
yeah,
you look up to and there's stuff like that. So it's first a shell shock when you go there, but you know, most like Arn, and yeah, Arn was great. He helped you a lot.
Yeah,
Guided you a little bit. Arn was good. And of course, then Kevin came in and he helped me a lot too because he was part of the crew. And then what's the guy? His dad wrestled for a long time, owned his territory in Florida. He was
Mike Graham.
Yeah, Graham helped me a lot.
Oh, cool.
And they were good. But you got out there and everybody can pretty much work. So it was kind of fun that way.
Yeah.
It was you just worked.
Yeah, it was an even level for most people, I would assume. And I can still hear Kevin saying Evad in his like northeastern accent, his Massachusetts accent. Evad. Yeah.
Yeah, that Bostonian accent.
And I know. And I remember seeing you, and I said, "Oh Lord, they've made the Equalizer dyslexic."
I know.
No disrespect to the obviously there's a lot of people that have that issue. I'm not making fun of it, but you know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It was a different gimmick doing that. That was different because most of the time I'd been a heel and a crazy heel at that point. Now I'm kind of, by doing this, his plan was to turn me babyface from the very beginning. So, but it was a process. I'm doing it, but
that was all Kevin, I assume. That was all Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin and that was Kevin and Graham's ideas.
Okay, cool. And obviously y'all end up working the Nasty Boys for a few matches. What do you have memories of those guys?
Over in Europe a lot together. We worked a lot of places.
Yeah.
Working with the Nasty Boys, it fit me and Kevin's style because it was aggressive. It was like we were just fighting each other. It was a fight.
Basically, yeah.
You just didn't kill each other. You kept each other alive because you knew you had to work the next night.
But it did look like y'all were killing each other out there.
It was nothing but a street fight, but you got to take care of each other enough because we got to work. We gotta work again tomorrow night. We want to be alive.
Yeah.
Brian's funny as shit. He always made you laugh. He didn't want to make you laugh in the ring because everybody knew,
Right.
And Sags was a good worker and tough guy. Really strong guy.
I've heard he was the legit tough one of the two, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Sags. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So obviously you're working a lot, and then after Spring Stampede, you're out with an injury for about 4 months. What was that injury?
Kevin and I were working in Chicago United Center. We were going to tag, and because I think they had the belts at that time, the Nasty Boys, and they were going to work us to get the belts. And I got rolled up behind me, and then I tore my quadricep tendon in my left knee. So they made it out because we were the dark match that day, and they made it out like the Nancy Boys jumped me in the back and injured me. So then they put Cactus with Kevin, and then of course Cactus and Kevin ended up getting the belts instead of me and Kevin.
Yeah.
Daggone it. Yeah.
Kind of what happened.
Yeah.
So while you were out, you started started wearing the Hulk Rules backward shirt. Was this in the plans before you got hurt, or was it something they came up with?
They came up after I got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
and then Hogan started, they wanted to put us together and all that shit and everything like that. So that's how it started.
Yeah.
So you, when you came back, y'all, started back up with the Nasty Boys some, and you worked Eaton and Kern and then Pretty Wonderful. Any memories about any of those teams or any of those guys working with them?
All great workers. I mean, Bobby Eaton's one of the best guys ever met in your
ever. Yeah.
Another sad day when he passed. I mean, just a great guy.
Yeah.
And Mr. Wonderful, because Mr. Wonderful and we tagged together for a while when I first started.
Okay. Okay.
And I could take two together, and we this is before Paul Roma came in, and they put them two together, and then Kevin came in together, so they switched gears and moved us that way. Me with Kevin, and then moved Paul with Romo. But yeah, Paul and I drove up and down roads. Well, a lot of times we rode with Harley because the three of us all got along real well. And Harley would nobody ever drove but Harley when Harley had the car. Okay, and Harley drove that pedal to the metal wherever we went.
Yeah,
I've always heard that he drove the wheels off from him.
And I'd sit in Paul wouldn't sit in the front with him. He always made me sit in the front, and Paul stayed in the back, praying that we wouldn't die. but Harley, I mean, you'd look over that thing, and that thing was bouncing off the dam. And back then, it only went to 85, but it's still, we were going more than 85 because it was just bouncing off like that. On him, it was about 4 or 5, and you're like, it looked like we were white lightning. He would smoke. He smoked a cigarette, and he'd crack the window, and he'd blow it out. And he turned to me one time, and he goes, "Dave," I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "In another life, I was a race car driver." And I said, "I kind of," as I'm holding on to the damn side thing, "I believe you, Harvey." He drives on the road. We're going awful fast.
So then they gave you the Hogan boots, and then came the robe. Then you and Kevin started working matches. How was the whole angle, thing with Hogan, the push, and working the match with Kevin?
It got over. I think it got over better than everybody anticipated. Kevin knew.
Yeah.
I think Kevin knew it was going to get over. I don't think anybody suspected it was going to get over like it did. Because the TV rating for me went through the roof.
Yeah. I remember it being awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I went back and watched it last night, and that was crazy. The crowd reaction was crazy.
It was. It got over more, and I think that's what helped because then Hogan kind of pushed for that Eugene character in the WWE.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, holy cow!
Because it got over so well that I don't think he wanted it to be over that well. It got over well, so that's why I think they tried a different type of character in the WWE.
Got it. I see. Yeah.
Because that was his brainchild, Eugene.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense because he was Hogan's #1 fan. So that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I love the whole deal with the boots and that robe. That robe was nice.
Really was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart got painted.
Yeah.
Who made it?
Jimmy Hart got it.
Yeah, I went back and watched it last night, and I remember the robe, but I didn't remember it being that nice. I mean, when I saw it last night, I was like, man, that was they didn't just throw that together. That was really done. Yeah, they put some time into that.
Yeah, they did. No question. I agree.
Yeah. So you and Kevin worked the program all the way up to Super Brawl of '95 in February. Up until then, Kevin, he cut your hair, stole the boots and the robe and all that.
Right.
And then Kevin went over in the Super Brawl match. Was that supposed to be in the finish? The end of the blow off of the angle? Because usually the babyface goes over. Because it seemed like your Super Brawl, they wasn't on TV until in May. So what all happened with that Super Brawl?
I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I know Hogan didn't want to do this gimmick anymore because it got over too much and it made him nervous. Because Dan made a comment. I think Brutus was hanging out there listening to the fans.
Oh.
I think this is what happened because Kevin kind of didn't say any names, but and then he come back and told Hogan that people think we look a lot alike, which we don't. We look a little bit, but not that much.
Right.
And so then Hogan's the one that cut the gimmick because he had creative control.
Yeah.
See, Kevin had come out on an interview and admitted that before he died.
Man.
He probably pulled it up on YouTube somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it floating around for years that was the reason that he basically ended up getting you fired for.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like I said, I watched a lot of that again last night. I remember when I watched it back in the day, but I watched a lot of it again last night just to remember some of it for this interview. And that was you did such a great, the whole thing with the holding the hand up to the ear, but you do it backwards. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, people ate that up. And how many of those how many of those phone things did you give out every night?
About 20 to 30.
That was why he wanted it over.
The whole thing was so good.
Yeah, I agree.
They did the ranking was moved up major on the baby faces, and that's what scared Hogan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So at the end of June '95, you started working a program with Diamond Dallas Page.
Correct.
Y'all worked together till about August. Also, Bash at the Beach pay-per-view, stuff like that. How was it working with DDP? And any memories of those matches?
Page was good. Page is good guy. He's funny as hell, but he's a good guy. And we worked. Cage liked to. He liked to practice stuff, so we figured the matches out way before, because he liked to work that way.
Yeah,
he didn't like he didn't call in the ring. We worked it out and did all that stuff together, and so yeah, it was good. I mean, Page a good worker. We had fun, and he did, and I enjoyed working with him and doing all the gimmicks with his wife and everything his wife at that time did all, and it was good. It was, and Page really got a major push after that.
Oh yeah, huge push. I mean, I love the self high five stuff. That was my favorite. When that started, that was like, he was like probably my favorite wrestler at that moment when he was doing.
Trying to get that game over. He did a great job.
Yeah,
Definitely.
All right, so around this time, you had a rabbit named Ralph. Who come up with that idea? And did Ralph ever poop on you? Because rabbits just like to shoot them pellets out of nowhere.
Yeah. Then I had to take that crazy thing on the plane and all that shit. Oh
gosh, what a nightmare!
That's terrible.
I think that was Kevin's rib on me.
Yeah. Oh man, sounds like a rib for sure. Was there only one Ralph? Did you go through multiples?
Oh, he lived with us. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Fans always said, after the day, what did you do with Ralph? I said, I ate him.
Yeah.
No, I didn't eat.
I fed him to one of the Samoans.
Yeah. That's even a better one.
Yeah.
Dave, I noticed, like I said, I was rewatching this stuff last night. Around this time, you really thinned down a lot. Was there a reason for that?
I don't think so. I don't remember, but I just decided to lean out a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, you looked like phenomenal shape. I mean, you looked really good shape.
Well, thank you, brother. That's awful sweet. I appreciate that.
I mean, you were always that big, but man, I just noticed that, and you were moving. And that stuff with Paige, man. You were slim down and you were moving, man. You looked good.
I did that because of my knee too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to ask if it had anything to do with your injury. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. So after the program, you worked with DDP. You worked a lot of TV matches, but no real programs or any angles with anybody. Was there a reason for that, or was that just a cool down period for you? Or
I just think that was Hogan.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he had his creative control.
Right. Yeah. Do you think he was paranoid, Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I heard people say that about Stone Cold a lot. The guys at the tip top, everybody thinks it's perfect up there, but you're fighting off everybody that's nipping at your toes,
Right.
Yeah.
Because see, I see when he was just studying Steve Austin, and Darren Matthews, myself, and him would go out all the time, and great guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really like Steve, but I mean, people have said that when he got to the top spot, he was a little bit like that, but I didn't see it, so I don't know, because me and him were always friends.
Right.
And I still consider him
That's cool.
But I think you get to that top spot, you get there. I think you don't want. Yeah, I think you got a point there. I think there is some truth to that. But Steve never had creative control.
Right. Good point.
Vince was still making the final decisions.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. It's just weird because you think of Hogan and it's like the guy he portrayed to all three of us, Quinton, Jared, and myself. You never think of him as like kind of a little bit devious, and not to speak ill of the dead. Rest in peace, brother. I mean it.
I still love him. I appreciate the opportunity he gave me in my life.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I do. And I don't hold anything against him at all.
Sure.
But he still did it, and that's on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't hold any ill will of it. I mean, I still think he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, that ever hit this business, because he totally changed it, him and Vince. And Vince, honestly, Vince couldn't have done it without him. And of course, he couldn't have done it without Vince, because Vince was a great promoter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was a perfect match to do what they did.
Right. Perfect place, perfect time. Everything happened perfectly.
I don't know if anybody else could have done it.
We mentioned that.
It was Rock and all them guys in Triple H. It was all different then.
Right.
He did it with it wasn't never tried before. He did it.
Right. He broke the mold. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that Vince wanted Dusty first before. I don't know if that's true. And then Dusty kind of turned him down, and then he went to Hogan.
Why would Dusty turn it down?
Yeah.
I don't. That's what I don't know either.
Dusty, you want to talk a guy that can get over by just talking is Dusty. He could have been he'd come back as a preacher. He'd be a rich sucker. He could start his own church.
He would. Yes, he would. Absolutely. Yeah. He would be great.
His nickname was Preacher sometimes, because he'd get on his pedestal. And it's just like, damn, you sure you were in the right business? You might have 10 churches all over the country.
you never know. You never know.
Did he turn it down? He didn't want to leave the Crockett's, you think, or would he turn it down?
I think he just didn't think that the way I heard it from maybe a Cody interview or something like that is that he didn't think that wrestling would go national real well. But I guess it's just, I don't know. You never know if that stuff's true or if there's like half truth behind it or whatever.
Did Cody say it?
Yeah, Cody said it. Mm-hmm.
Well, he would know. I mean, I remember Cody when he was little, and my son and his son wrestled on the same little kids wrestling team there in Georgia.
Wow. Huh. That's funny.
There may have been like Triple H who said something about it too, but I don't know.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because Dusty is over. I mean, Flair over Dusty was.
Right. Yeah.
I think the whole thing about that was, I don't think everybody else thought that it would work, because Eddie Ihorn tried this back in '76 with IWA, and he tried to go national, and it didn't work. And I think everybody thought it will not work. And I think that's and lo and behold, it worked.
Yeah.
I just think there's some things in life that's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else could have done it but Hulk with him.
Yeah.
Because he got on TV, he got his own cartoon, remember? And
action figures, everything.
Yeah. You had another thing that people tend to forget about, Andre the Giant.
Right. Good point.
People would just look at Andre in person.
Yeah.
To look at him, because I'm not. But then you put him, Hogan, and the whole thing together, it was just a perfect storm.
Yeah. Well, so in December of '95, you worked DDP in a dark match at Starrcade '95. Were there any talks about starting back that program, or was this just a one-time only thing?
I think they were looking at it. I don't know what happened, why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I didn't get the opportunity to sit back in those office meetings and talk to guys and listen, but something happened there, and I think they were talking about doing something to bring it back, but it never matriculated, I should say.
Gotcha.
All right, so basically the next 4 months, you only worked a few TV tapings, and then in April you were gone from WCW, and we talked a little bit a minute ago about why we didn't see you no more. So after you were let go from WCW, where did you go after that?
After that, I moved back to the Oklahoma and Arkansas down there, and I was wrestling down there in that those independent shows all around there. I'd still go do a shot in Puerto Rico or Japan with those guys and stuff like that. And so I worked down there as Dave Sullivan.
Got it.
So, so you were pretty much done full time then, right?
I still made money full time till probably about 99, and then I started. So then I started getting back into coaching after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. Well, so that does lead into my next question. And as we're starting to wrap things up here, it's been an amazing interview with you, Dave.
I've enjoyed talking to you guys too.
Yeah.
You help my memory tremendously.
That's what we got Quinton here for. He helps us all. So I know you have a huge history with football, and you were a football player as a young man and had some time and really spent a lot of time in the sport, and that you're now back coaching high school. So talk about what you're up to today and also how that ties into your start, essentially.
Well, I mean, when I played football, like you said, I was with the Steelers for a little bit, then the USFL. And then it went defunct. And so then I coached for a little while before I got into wrestling. I was up at St. Cloud and we had a show there with the AWA. This is still in the territories are going. And we had a show with, and Andre was there. It was a fundraiser we did with the AWA there at St. Cloud State. Andre, Jesse the Body was there. All the guys that made WWF great. Remember, he took all the Gene was there, was in the AWA.
Bobby
Heenan was there.
Yeah.
All of them, all those people that made Vince, and at that time, the AWA was the number one territory.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was the biggest. It went all the way from Minneapolis, Omaha, Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, but Denver, and then they had San Francisco too.
Yeah.
So and it was big. And then it was probably the largest. It was probably, at that time, land-wise, it was bigger than WWE. But if you look at it, all those guys were at this thing. They did a battle royale. I think Andre put Patero over the top to win it. And Hogan was there. You're looking at all these guys, and that's what took off for the WWF was those guys.
Right. Yeah.
He rated Vern's talent big time.
And they stole Piper from down south.
Yeah.
Orndorff from that same territory. So those guys he put those two territories together and he had the right mix to draw the money. But that's where I first got started. And I talked to those guys. And then when I moved down, I got the job at Washburn there as a coordinator. I started working over there and going over to Kansas City and seeing those guys because they recommend that's who I go see. So that's how I started training.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I hooked up with the grappler. Then it all started and I got completely out of coaching. And then when I got out of wrestling in 99, I started looking and I got back into coaching again. And then I retired here a couple of years ago from doing it full time. And so now I just part-time, I sub-teach and I help independent show out a little bit with NLW here they're in Nebraska.
Okay.
And do stuff with them. And then I sub and teach and coach. So, I mean, that's kind of what I do now. I'm semi-retired, but shit, you look back at your life and, good or bad, it was all good. You know what I'm saying? Even though you get mad at certain things like what Hogan did there for a short time, but you just, after you just go, it's not worth it. It's, he was a good guy. He did help me and I'm better for it no matter what, and that's what I try to teach kids is you got to keep fighting. You got to hang in there. You're not always going to get your way. You're not always going to have the great day, but you just get up next morning, the sun comes up and you keep going, and you keep fighting.
Yeah, that's amazing advice for anybody, honestly, Yeah. So just keep fighting. Well, obviously you were brought here for one job, and that was to talk about the Portland Wrestling Expo 2, Saturday, February 21st at the Holiday Inn Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court with our buddy Captain's Corner Nick and all kinds of Lynn Denton and so many other great stars of the Portland. Gorgeous Joey Jackson, I know, is going to be there. Anyway, so I know it's going to be a great time. Y'all got to go out and see our buddy Dave Sullivan there. Call him the Equalizer. Call him Evad, whatever you want to call him. Just call him. Yeah. We do have one more question before we wrap everything up, and I'm going to kick that to my brother, the Sheik.
All right. So if you could look back on your career and you could say, that was my favorite match I ever had, what would it be?
Ooh.
Tough question.
It is. You know, I think one of my most favorite was the early one when Brian and I and Grappler up there in Portland, we jumped Doll, King, and I can't remember, Scotty the Body.
Yeah.
And we beat the piss out of him, and we left him in the ring with Cheerio and milk with a Breakfast Club.
Mm.
That was the most enjoyable trash can. We put all the trash can and dumped it on them, and that was a great match. Probably the most enjoyable one was that's one of them. When you look at your career, you look back. I mean, there's a lot of matches that when Paul and I were over in Germany, we had a great match with kind of who we were working at the time. They're the baby faces. Who were the top baby faces at that time when I first started in the 90s? Oh, the Scotty. It was Steve Austin and Brian
Pillman. Yeah.
We had the matches together, me and Paul, and we had a blast. It was fun to work with Steve, because they were both great workers and sold real well, and we bumped for them, and we had a blast working with those two. So I'd have to say working with Steve Austin and Brian Pillman and having my partner as Paul Orndorff was probably the most enjoyable. When we made that round with him, we had a lot of fun with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
We had some great.
That would be hard not to pick for my favorite match with those, those, and unfortunately 2 of the guys are gone now. That's sad, unfortunately, but,
me and Grappler, and Brian Adams is gone too, but me and the Breakfast Club, when we do that to people, that was so freaking fun. They hated it, and we loved the hell doing it.
Hey man, that should be something they do as a gimmick out there in Portland. Nick, I'm coming up with ideas for you. You and Lenny need to do a Breakfast Club little signing something. I don't know, something with the Breakfast Club. That's a great idea. Serve breakfast.
I think that'd be a good idea. Something out there with it.
Yeah, because I know. Just Cheerio. It'd be easy.
Yeah.
Nick, that's a free idea, buddy. Thank you for the guests. No, Dave, this has been awesome, man. Thank you. I mean, seriously, this hour has flown by, and I'm just so appreciative of you answering all these questions, and thank you for dropping by and telling everybody about your story, man.
And I look forward to seeing you guys all in Portland. I really look forward to it. That's good.
All right, guys, y'all want to thank him?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you too. Appreciate you all, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure interviewing you.
Okay. Me too. It was great for me. Brought back some good memories.
Good. Well, maybe we'll get you back on sometime down the road. Thank you so much, Dave. Have a good night and sell a ton of gimmicks in Portland, buddy.
I will, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, that was the one and only Evad Dave Sullivan. We'll be right back to wrap things up with Quinton and the Sheik on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
Hi, this is Mike Needham, host of the Reckless Abandon Podcast with Mike Needham. We invite you to jump on your favorite podcast platform and search for the Reckless Abandon Podcast and give us a listen. I'm sometimes joined by a part-time podcaster, part-time co-host, and full-time wife, Tiffany Nicole. We talk wrestling, we talk pop culture, we talk local events, local happenings in West Tennessee, and a ton of other stuff. But be sure to check out the Reckless Abandon Podcast. Find us on Facebook. Also, look up the Microgroup Podcasting family on Facebook and see some of our other podcasts we have out there. Until next time, make good choices and always remember, no dollar, no dice.
Oh, Sheik and Quinton, man, dude, that was quick but awesome. That was a really I feel like he answered the questions. He knew that we had a lot of questions, and I feel like he answered the questions knowing that we had a lot of questions.
Yeah, I feel like he was prepared for us.
Yeah, but definitely appreciate that. Sheik, what'd you think about old Evad?
Very cool to talk to. He'd been a little bit everywhere and was involved in some cool angles. It's great to hear some of the stories and, really feel like, Quinton did a good job asking him a little more about that, the Hogan angle and, talking about he'd watched and everything. So talk about that some, Q.
Yeah, that was that's like I said, I went back and watched that stuff. Like I said, I barely remembered it. And man, it just seemed it usually we watch stuff, especially with WCW around that time, it seemed like it was pushed and it didn't have that genuine feel.
Right.
And you can, and it's like it seemed like people were forced. You could tell but man, he got into that gimmick and did it perfect. The people I don't know if everybody's mind, but I know the kids were eating it up. The kids were eating it up, and I mean it was over. And but you could tell you can tell when somebody really likes doing it in there. You can tell he was putting all it. I think he really enjoyed doing it and was happy with it.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's funny with all the stuff that we were talking about. Dave and that Evad gimmick are like the last real storyline that I remember watching before I stopped watching wrestling for a little bit and then came back to the Attitude Era. So I have a great fondness of that whole story, that Evad and hearing Kevin Sullivan, Evad, that kind of stuff. Lots of fun. So we definitely thank you all so much for listening. We greatly appreciate that. Of course, Captain's Corner, February 21st, the Portland Wrestling Expo 2. Be there, be square. Tell them Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling sent you. And of course, we got to talk about the next episode. That is going to be episode 3 of This Month in Wrestling History with Quinton Quarisma. And that is going to be, you're covering September, if we're not, I think that's when we are, right? September?
Yep. September. Yep.
Yeah. So we're very excited about that. Can't wait to hear all about it. Looking forward to that. Of course, if you want to know everything that's going on, the best way to do that is at GMBMPW on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Fellas, y'all got anything else before we go?
I'm good, brother. Let's wrap it up.
Buy a shirt.
Thank you, Q. That's right. Through September 30th, 100% of the proceeds go to the Right Way Reunion. Make sure you get yours today. All right, guys, that's it for today. So for the Equalizer, Dave Evad Sullivan, the Territory Wrestling Guru, Quinton Quarisma, the Plastic Sheik, Jared Street, and myself. And this has been Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Don't forget.
I'd like to thank all you nice people for coming out here and visiting me today. I'm home from the hospital, and I'm feeling better. I'm a little fuzzy upstairs, but I'm home and I feel better, and it's nice to see y'all. I'd also like to thank all you nice people out there, you friends and fans who sent me all these nice cards, letters, flowers, and gifts. It means a lot to me from the very bottom of my heart, and I appreciate it a lot. Just a minute. Hello? Oh, hi, Hulkster. How you doing? Oh, I'm just trying to keep my head below water. Well, hopefully in about a week or so, I'll be able to wrestle and all that stuff. And, it's just a matter over mind. And yes, sir, I've been saying my prayers and taking my vitamins. Just a minute, Hulk. Come in.
Oh, hi, Dave.
Just a minute, hold
How
on.
are you?
Oh, I hung up on the Hulkster. It's the
Dave.
diamond doll.
Shh.
Yeah, don't tell Paige.
I'm
You
going
can't
to
tell
get
Paige.
in a whole lot of trouble
Yeah.
for being here.
Okay.
But I saw what happened to you on TV, and I just felt so bad that I brought you a gift to try to help cheer you up. Yes. But listen, I've really got to
Yeah,
go.
but
I'm
don't-
in a lot of
don't tell
trouble.
us
Okay,
again.
bye-bye.
Oh, it's all fuzzy and furry. Oh, I love it. That diamond doll's very, very nice, but don't tell Dallas. It's wonderful.
With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you later.
This has been a James Rock Street production.